Hi guys, welcome back. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Thalia and I'm a realtor here in Colorado, specifically in Eagle County, which would be the Vail Valley, which is all of Vail, Avon, Beaver Creek, Eagle, Gypsum, Walcott. So I just wanted to give you guys a quick market update on specifically my market, just because I know no matter where you go, it's always different. It's different everywhere else, especially in our market since we're like a touristic valley because of Vail and Beaver Creek. Our markets tend to be a little different. For example, back in the '08 market crash, our valley didn't hit like the lowest of let's say the lowest homes sold for wasn't until 2011. So that just gives you an idea. Like our market hit in the market crashed in 2008, and it really didn't affect our valley until 2011. So that's a 3-year difference. It took 3 years to actually truly impact our valley. So we are in a very unique real estate market in that sense. Really, you could find a single family home here. Currently, our market is insane, and so our prices are pretty high up right now. But you could wait and you wait for the right property. You could, maybe find a single family home for like 450. It really just depends on the area. The further away you get from Vail, of course, the cheaper the home will be. So the cheapest in our market for a single family home, I would have to say it's like between like 400 to the 500 range. That's considered reasonable here, which is insane because when you think about like other markets, like in Texas, like you can get a mansion for $100,000. So it's pretty crazy. Our market is insane, especially during these times. I wanted to do just a quick market update for the year 2020. So I wanted to just say how everything just sells, especially single family homes. Like I'm saying, in the cheaper range, which would be between 400 to 500, tend to sell within hours or a few days. You can't really think about if you like the home, or you can't even sleep on it sometimes just because of how quickly things tend to sell around here. And that makes it pretty hard, I would say, for buyers, just because they don't even have a time to brainstorm, like, is this the right location for my family? Are the monthly payments for me good? Will I be fine with that? I don't know. Do I truly love the home? Like, you really can't even think if you actually love the home or not, just because of how, if you don't love it, well, guess what? There's other 10 pre-approved buyers that are wanting the same home that you just looked at, and then you're in a bidding war if you just think about it, overthink it too much. And yeah, so our market is insane. I did want to say, I feel like in January, our market was pretty, not that it was slow, just because even then, a home around here never really lasts on the market for a month. But I would say like average days on market, I would say like 10 days, it'll take 10 days for the home to sell. And then when, COVID-19 hit our valley and everything got shut down, I feel like a lot of people freaked out. So everything tended to be more slow. And to be honest, out of the whole year, I think that would have been the best time to buy. You gotta always remember, like, times of uncertainty is the best time to purchase a home. Always. When everyone's freaking out, when everyone's like, oh, I don't know what to do, I don't know if I should buy a home or not, like, those are actually, when I look back at those times, I'm just like, well, those were the best times to buy a home. But anyway, so rewind to that time though, when everything shut down, I did have like quite a bit of pre-approved buyers. Not that I was showing properties, just because you couldn't even show, it wasn't an essential business in my valley and where I live, of like being able to show a home. So you couldn't even show a home. The only way that you could, eventually show a home was if you were to write an offer sight unseen And after you were under contract and after the seller accepted your offer, then you could go walk the property and actually see, I guess, if it was a purchase that you wanted to continue with. Which, to be honest, that's insane. That's crazy to think about that. And honestly, I did have quite a bit of buyers that bought during that time. Like, we would just submit an offer and we were able to actually negotiate price a little more. And don't think like you can negotiate price so much, just because, again, our market is still kind of crazy. And eventually, if no one were to buy the home at that time, someone else was going to come either way, later on. But and we were in my I guess my action plan is kind of different. I guess it just depends on the agent you work with, but for me, it's just like, okay, a home just came out, especially right now in our market, like today, December 31st. Like, if a home comes out today, I am willing and I will go show that home tonight if we're able to, just because it just gives us a little more time, a few more hours to think if this is a home you want or not, than, waiting until, let's say, so today is what, Thursday, tomorrow's Friday, which is the first Saturday, waiting until Saturday until everyone's sober. Like, you gotta just always be prepared to go see the home ASAP right now before someone comes and beats you to it. And it's just crazy. But anyway, so back then in March, we were able to negotiate a little more, maybe ask for seller concessions. And those of you that don't know, seller concessions is money that you're like, okay, like, I'm willing to pay what you're asking for. I'm willing to pay $450,000 for this home, but in return, you got to give me, let's say, $5,000 for my closing costs. So then that kind of just helps you, because you have to bring less money. Let's say if you're a first-time home buyer, your closing costs are $5,000 and you're getting a first-time home buyer program. That means the day of closing, you wouldn't have to bring anything, because really you had to bring $5,000 to begin with. But if the seller is paying for that, then you don't have to bring it in. Well, it has come to the point, fast forward to the end of the year, you can't even ask for seller concessions, because obviously someone else is gonna, like I say, we're in bidding wars right now. You think the seller is gonna technically they're taking $5,000 less by giving you $5,000 for your closing costs. So, obviously they're gonna take the highest and best offer out there, which right now there's bidding wars. There's people paying, $5,000 over, $10,000 over asking price. So, if you're asking for that right now, chances are that your offer is going to get rejected and they're going to go with another, better offer. So that's why I keep saying around COVID-19, it was the best time to buy. You could negotiate a little more, maybe bump the price down $5,000, ask for seller concessions for your closing costs. But that wasn't very long lived either. I would say that only took like a month and a half after that. I think just things got so insane. I mean, interest rates got hit an all-time low, the lowest they've been in 50 years. Even more buyers came on the market looking to purchase the home, because the lower the interest rate, the less your monthly payments will be. And I do want to say, like, how much your interest rate affects you. The reason why low interest rates is so important, I just want to give you a quick overview. Back in 2018, I had a buyer that purchased a home and they purchased it for $390,000, and the same buyer sold their home this year in our crazy market, and then purchased another home which was like at $500,000. Well, and so with that $390 home back in 2018, they did 20% down. But then fast forward this year with their $500,000 home, they put 15% down. So they put less of a down payment. Interest rates were so low, they got a lower interest rate this time around, and it made their monthly payment $200 less. So I thought that was so awesome for them. Like, how crazy is it that their $500,000 home is $200 less than their $390,000 home that they purchased back in 2018. So yes, our market is crazy and our numbers, are high, but then when you think about like the monthly payment, it is kind of crazy how they're just lower than they were, a few years back. So I guess that as well, that's why buyers in our market are so interested in just maybe finding a property to live in, and you don't have to find your forever home. I always have to remind that to all my buyers, because like, of course, like who doesn't have that dream of like purchasing a home, but not only purchasing a home, but purchasing your dream home. So I think we all, when we think about purchasing a home, we're always thinking of our dream home. So it's hard to sometimes find stuff in our valley just because a dream home around here is $1 million, so that's kind of crazy. And it's a lot of times it isn't reachable in this point of time for first time home buyers. So that's why I say you just got to start slow. Like even with a 2-bedroom condo and then live in it for a few years, you could sell it, whatever you get out of there, buy your next property. And little by little, you continue to do that until you hit your dream home. Now, the thing that I would do if I were, in your position, I would buy a 2-bedroom condo, start small, and a few years later buy my second one. But instead of selling my first home, I would actually rent it and just use it as a rental. It'll be paying itself off, maybe potentially make a few $100s extra for me to keep every month. But I guess those are just personal goals. Everyone has different agendas, I feel, in their life. We're all in different places, and that's okay. But yeah, I just feel like that interest rates being so low just made it even crazier with buyers. And around here, it's not very easy to find a home just because you don't get a lot of options. There's not a lot of homes that go on the market. A lot of people right now are staying in their home. A lot of people have been refinancing again because, interest rates are so low, but the value of their home is so high that when they refinance, their monthly payment is extremely low. And they rather do that than, sell and buy something else. So I guess that too just kind of makes our inventory of home sales, like of homes coming out on the market, a lot less. But yeah, it's just crazy how much our market has changed, especially in these times when people just thought that with COVID-19 being here, our market would have slowed down a little bit more and prices would be more reasonable. But it's actually the complete opposite. Our prices have increased, interest rates are lower, but again, just the buyer demand is so high, and there's just not enough homes that when a home does come out in affordable, place, like Eagle and Gypsum, if a home comes out there that's reasonable and affordable, like it sells within hours. I guess we'll see what 2021 has in store for us. If you're out there, thinking about purchasing, I always do say it is best to just get pre-approved and see how much you're approved for. That way, when something that does come out that you like, you're able to make an offer on it as soon as possible. Because if you wait too long or if you are not pre-approved, you are definitely losing out on the home that you love. Even if it takes 6 months of you waiting for a home, trust me, just be prepared and go for it, because times like that, a home like that will not last. Anyway, so overall, this has been a very crazy market. I have some statistics here for you guys. So this year, Eagle County surpassed $3 billion for the first time ever. The last time that we set a record was back in 2007. In 2007, and this is including all of our markets, all of our Eagle County markets, we surpassed 2.9 billion. This was back in 2007. Today, 2020, December 31st, we have surpassed $3 billion in sale volume. Like, that's crazy. And if you are thinking of purchasing this new year, 2021, I would love to help you. I'm always here, to help you and guide you and answer any of your questions that you might possibly have. Like I say, our market is crazy, but that doesn't mean that, you may not find something. There's still stuff out there for you to find. It's just all about being patient and waiting. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys have a great new year, very healthy, and I hope you reach all of your goals this upcoming year. I know that we all had so many goals for 2020, and I feel like they were just completely put on hold because of how crazy this year was for all of us. But I hope 2021 is everything that 2020 couldn't have been. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment down below or feel free to email me. Bye!